Get to the root of trauma. Sponsored by Parent Enhancement Program. It is that messy middle that we seem to store in our subconscious and we don't want to let it go. But it's that mess that is holding us hostage. So, we are a podcast that is very vulnerable. We share our experiences. We are vulnerable and we tell our stories. We also have guest speakers that are willing to share their experience with you. Please don't be afraid to follow. Don't be afraid to share, because the more we share, the more we are heard. Get to the root of trauma. Oh my goodness, we're back again. Carolina, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. So happy to be here.
Oh, I have a fabulous coach, and she is from another country. And I just love the fact that the followers are following, and it's just it's just amazing. So we're going to stop this for a minute because I think we're having some technical difficulties, and we'll start. There she is. There she is. Okay. So, Carolina, how are you doing? Just tell me how you're doing.
I'm fine. I'm so happy to see how our podcaster listeners are growing, and we are being listened from so many countries. And today we have the opportunity to have a friend for far away from where I am. So I'm so happy for this network that we can help each other and be sharing the passion about parenting and be conscious parenting and try our best with our children. And I just also would like to mention that whoever would like to talk with Jules or with me, they can find us in www.parentenhancementprogram/contact, and we can see the best way to support you in whatever situation you are, whatever age your children's are, and we know how tricky it can be mothering sometimes. So here we are sharing our
Yes.
experiences, and we would like to welcome Voila.
Hello, Walla. I'm just going to tell the title. She's going to be talking about want your child to be a role model. Do you really want your child to be a role model? And I am so interested in hearing what she has to speak about. Walla, can you tell us a little bit about what you're talking about here?
Yes, of course. Salam alaikum. Hi, Jules. Hi, Carolina. I am so
Hello.
happy. I'm so thrilled to be here with you. And I do really appreciate your podcast. I really appreciate the effort that you're putting into this work. And I appreciate all the listeners all around. I hope that we can really make an impact in their lives. And I also do appreciate the internet that allowed us to connect from the other side of the world.
Yes.
So, my name is Wala Aita. Yeah. So, my name is Wala Aita. I am a peaceful parenting coach who's located in Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. I have my coaching space that I call Dan, which is an Arabic word that means always close. I help parents to stop violence and color their parenthood with peace and empathy while always being present and close to their kids. So, talking about your child to be a model or a role model, I'm here to sorry, I'm here to talk about this. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want their children to be the role models, right? I would like a personal story that I entitled "The Best Verbal Slap" by the most honest human being.
Wow.
Love,
Yes.
we love personal stories because sometimes it looks like because we are coaches, we know everything, and we are in the messy middle as well. So please share.
Yeah. So this story actually started years back. I was the different version of a mother. I was the yelling, the angry, the punishing, and the role setter mother. My toddler's eyes were full of fear and insecurities, and this hurt me so badly. But I never realized it shouldn't be that way because I grew up believing that children have to be taught how to behave. And the only way to get there is to be a tough mother or a tough parent. Soon, to mimic my anger, my behavior, finger pointing, facial expressions, and all that. I used to be yelled at the same way I was yelling at him. So I felt I was like feeling connected. I was feeling disappointed, and that was heartbreaking for me because it just felt like it's not the mother, or you were not the mother that you always promised yourself to be. Okay? So that was the moment that hit me really bad. And then, those verbal messages from my son was like, a little version of you. Mommy, I'm copying you. Mommy, you are my role model and I'm learning from you. So the most honest yet painful feedback I've ever received in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That night, I remember very clearly, I was thinking, okay, Wala, what were you doing? What are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? What is this version of you that you just never liked? What are you trying? And at that time, I never knew the answers for such questions. But what I knew is that I had to change. I had
That's
to
so
end this.
powerful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your child, the message that I was told, your child is copying you. This is a fact. You need to change so he can change. And I knew that what I knew is that I wanted a child who is not adding more violence to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then a year later, I became a certified parent coach, more peaceful, not perfect, and never be, at least living peacefully 80 to 90% of the time, and at least allowing my child to thrive.
Well, I just want to take just a minute to reflect the power of what you were saying, because you had the courage and the conscious to be the one that you had the responsibility, and you could put yourself down like, oh, I'm doing everything wrong, what happened with me, I'm not the mother I should be, my child is copying me, blah blah blah. But instead of that, you really take it, you feel it, and you take action. You didn't stay in that resentment mode or victimizing yourself. You said, you recognize I need help. And sometimes this is very difficult because you see there's something wrong with your tooth, you go to the dentist. You see there's something wrong in your skin, you go to the dermatologist. But sometimes we feel something is wrong and we don't know what to do. So we are not saying that every mom need to become a parent coach, but ask for help. Invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Talk to a coach. There are so many support out there. Don't be alone in that pain, because we were not taught, and I'm sure you was trying to do your best, because you said that you was growing up in that kind of modeling of parenting. So you was trying your best. You was just reproducing what you get, thinking that
You,
you will shy. We
yeah,
try like
you,
that.
like Carolina said, the power of your words. I mean, the power of your words. It was just like the little child, your son comes to you and say, I'm just like you. So, I mean, the whole finger pointing, I see that a lot here, the whole finger pointing, and then they say no, and you taught them that word. So I'm going to let you continue because we're going to take a little break for a minute. So I want you to go ahead and continue what you were saying. It's powerful.
Yeah, so the message that I have here for the listeners today is, please parent and treat your children the way you want them to treat you, and also the way you parent in the future. Parent with peace, with empathy, with understanding and compassion, with kindness, lots and lots of unconditional love and acceptance.
Mhm.
Wow.
We always say that you need to heal your inner child, and then
Exactly.
realize that what kind of mother you would like to be. And I really get it. I was thinking sometimes my children were playing and were fighting with between the toys the same way I was talking to them. So I also have that feeling that they reproduce exactly what we were saying, with the same tone of voice or some aggression. I
Exactly,
said,
yeah.
wow, that's me. That's exactly me. I know, I get
Yeah,
it.
that's a
I
lot.
should,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. So you know what? I'm gonna take a break here for a little bit because a lot of mothers might be triggered by what you're saying because we are always taught that we are to be listened to, don't do as I say, do as I do. And we are in that generation, but the children are coming up in a new style. And so I want the parents to listen to Wallah and not judge. I need you guys to breathe and I need you to hear what she says because, like Karen said, you watch your children, if you observe, you will see Wallah is speaking truth, whether you want to hear it or not. So I want you to take that breath and I want you to hold it. I want you to blow it out. And I want you to say, do I really act like that? A lot of people are putting this on the internet on their children's behaviors like, oh, do I really act like that? So take another breath, hold it, and breathe out all that negativity. Observe and let's listen to Wallah because what she speaks is the truth, whether we like it or not. Go ahead, you can continue.
Okay, and I want all of us to imagine how blessed we are when when we have our first child. Because first child means you are a better version of yourself. He is going to show you your mistakes. Okay, and then you have a second child. You have to get even better because you have to recover from the mistakes you did with the first child,
Mm.
right? So it's just like, it's a never ending feedback and it's a very honest feedback. You don't have to ask for feedback from strangers, right? You have it
Right.
all at, right? Okay, so I know it's easier said than done, but I would like to share some simple tips here to our listeners so they can today.
yes,
Okay,
give us a
tip number
recipe.
one. Yeah. Okay, so tip number one, listen to your child. Even when they tell a story, even if it's a boring one, even if you've heard it for the million times, just listen to them. Attention they need so they can listen to you in the future. Tip number two, be responsible. Express emotions and need. Talk about what you really feel, not what you think people feel about you. Okay. Talk about what you really need, not what you expect from others. Let's take an example here. If a child has not finished his food, angry as a mother, okay? Don't put the burden on your child and accuse him or her for making you feel that way. Just express that anger by words and link it to the need that's missing in the scene. Check inside you. Are you hungry? Are you irritated? Are you worried? Do you want to clean all the dishes at once? What's going on? Is not your child. Okay, let's go to tip number three. Respect your children. Respect them the way you want them to respect you. Respect their personal space, respect privacy, respect their belongings, parts. Show respect in the ways you treat and speak to them. Okay, in all ways, in all. It's very important here to choose your language and your speaking style and tone of voice. Pick that wisely because eventually it's going to be the language they are using with you, against you, and against the others. Right?
Yes, I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so imagine a mother who's speaking like this. Hey, get yourself up and give me the bags from outside. You cannot expect your child to respond in a way or use this language with you. Would you please, I would really appreciate your help if you can get the bags from outside, right? Because he doesn't know the style. That's not being used with him all the time, right? Then
Correct.
tip number 4, make mistakes and allow them to make mistakes. Apologize and allow them to apologize. Forgive and allow them to forgive you. And when we talk about tip number 5, show them how important they are in your life and spend quality time with them. And I just want to emphasize this here. Quality time for your children is not a favor. It's one of their rights. Okay?
Wow.
And lastly, yeah. And lastly,
Oh my
love
God.
them and accept them.
Okay.
Love them and accept them unconditionally so they can feel safe and they can come back to you whenever needed, when they get hit by life storms.
Oh my goodness. I want you to go through those tips again because I mean, they were some powerful tips. I mean, and you're right, because when a mother speaks to her child in an angry voice and then he comes back or she comes back angry voice, you're like,
Exactly.
mothers either pop them in the mouth or you will not talk to me like that. It's like, but that's all I know.
Exactly.
And I love the way you said he can't come back in a different style if he doesn't know that style. So this is
Exactly.
amazing. I love it. Carolina, do you have anything to express on those
Yeah,
powerful words?
my aha was like really take responsibility for yourself. And so many
Mhm.
times we project on our kids things that are 100% ours. You know, I'm so busy or so stressed or hungry or tired or whatever, and I can respond in a very different way than when I'm not stressed or when I'm happy. Or so this is a proof that it's not exactly for what the child is doing. It's just for your stage of emotions or feelings or your kind of stress.
Mhm.
And because we live in a very, very fast speed life, we are always so busy. We don't have time
Yes.
for slow down and realize that our children's
Yeah.
brain are not completely developed. So their time to process things and the time to get in life and feelings and sensory input is completely different from us. So
Yeah.
really need to think about that, because there are you can say, well, one day while I was stressed, but think about it's more every day that you have a lot of things to do and you are running around and you are rushing from one place to the other one. So yeah, that was the tip that made me think, oh yes, I need to separate what is mine and what is there.
Not to scare any. It's never too late to be the model for for our children, for your children, and it's never too late to fix with our children. This is what we want. We want peace for us. We want peace for them, and you can start by yourself or with yourself first. Be that model. Your child is going to be the model, and the secret here is to keep doing it always. Never give up and never feel disappointed, because you will have ups and downs, but again,
That is great. That is great. I like that because, like Carolina and I always say, that if it doesn't become natural to you over
yeah,
and
yeah,
over, then you can always slip back because you've been 40
exactly.
years, 50 years doing this same thing. So now it takes some time. It takes some time, but you
Hmm.
got to understand
Hmm.
a toddler gets 400 commands a day and you expect them not to have a big emotion? So
Yeah,
go to bed, sit down, say hi, say bye. And 400 commands a day.
exactly.
So,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we're not saying we ask,
That's a
we
lot.
command it. Did that person say hi? You need to say hi back. You need to smile at that person. You need to put on your shoes. So, voila, you spoke the truth. Carolina, oh my goodness.
Oh, there's so many information. I'm just processing, and it's information we know, but as well as said, it's much easy to say than practice. So be easy with yourself. Get yourself the time to do it. We are not even catching all the needs and things that our kids need, our children, but it's a practice. And if you catch, yourself doing something wrong, the importance to apologize and reconnect is huge. So even if you mess up, stop and model that, it's nice to apologize. Everyone is going to make mistakes. We cannot avoid that. But you go and said you're sorry, you reconnect, you build the trust again. That's so, so important. So thank you so much to be
and
with
accept
us.
yourself and be very gentle.
Yes. And please let us know where people can find you if they need more tips. You give some tips here, but I'm sure there are so much more and how to put it in practice. So where people can find you, Wala.
Yeah, sure. So I do coaching groups in Arabic, both languages, Arabic and English. And I'm mostly on Instagram. So they can find me on Instagram, and the handle is Dan Parent Coaching. It's one word, DANPARENTCOACHING.
Okay. And if we want you to come back, if we have followers that want to hear you again, will you be up to coming back to podcasting with us?
I would love to. Why not? Let's spread the word.
All righty. Thank you so much. I want to say thank you. Assalamu alaikum. And I bid you adieu.
Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Carolina. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Our pleasure.
So, how did we do? How did our guests do? Don't feel embarrassed to comment below. Let us know how we vibe in your human experience. We are always able to contact or be contacted at www.parentenhancementprogram.com. Get that coffee break with us /contacts. You can also see Parent Enhancement Program on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Yes, we are wanting to be heard. Now all you have to do is follow and share.